So we've talked a little bit about graphing these, how these are machines. And I know that to get my x-intercept, I've got to let y be 0. To get my y-intercept, I've got to let x equal 0. And then to get my vertex, what I've been doing is I've been saying, what's the midpoint of my x-intercepts? So let's take a look at this one. If I wanted to find x-intercepts for this one, I'd have to let y be 0. So we look at that. 0 equals x squared plus 3x minus 28. So I need to solve that. And if you remember back to our last unit, boy, we sure did a bunch of that. So the way that I'm going to solve that is by factoring it. And so I want things that multiply to negative 28, add to 3. You can use the box method, whatever you like, but it is going to be x plus 7 times x minus 4 equals 0. So x would equal negative 7 and 4. There's my x-intercepts right there. I've got the point negative 7, 0, and the point 4, 0. So there's my x-intercepts. For my y-intercept, I'm going to let x be 0. So y equals 0 squared plus 3 times 0 minus 28. So this is all just a 0. So y equals negative 28. So when x is 0, y is negative 28. Okay, so I've got x-intercepts, I've got y-intercept. Now I want my vertex, and my vertex is midpoint between negative 7 and 4, the x value is. So I'm going to average those two numbers together and see what I get. So let's see, negative 7 plus 4 is negative 3. Negative 3 halves. You could leave it like that. You could turn it into 1.5, whatever you like. And then to get the y value, when x is negative 1.5, you can plug it into this equation, or you can plug it into the factored version, whatever you prefer. I'm going to just do it on my calculator real quick. Negative 1.5 squared plus 3 times negative 1.5 minus 28. And I get y is negative 30.25. So the vertex is at the point negative 1.5, negative 30.25. Great. So if I wanted to graph this, I'm really just going to do a really rough sketch. So I'm going to say 4 is about here, negative 7 is about here. My shape's going to do something, oops, maybe I could draw it a little bit better than that. My shape's going to do something like this. My vertex is this point. And my y-intercept, I found it up here, is 0, negative 28. Everything seems to be reasonable. So that would be my sketch of it. Maybe make that a little more legible. Cool. So that would be it. Notice in this form, when it's written this way, the thing that's really easy to read off of here is the y-intercept. Because when x is 0, right? When x is 0, these happen. So this form really gives me my y-intercept. I have to kind of work for the other pieces. We'll go back to some things I did previously. These forms, when it's in this factored form, notice I can read my x-intercepts off there real easily. Negative 5, what makes this a 0? What makes this a 0? Right? It happens here too. Negative 3 and positive 1. So this last one, well, let me do it and we'll see where we end up. X plus 4 squared, I've got to square that. And when you square something, that means you multiply it by itself, right? So this is x plus 4 times x plus 4, and then minus 9. So let me do this multiplication first. You can do it with box. You know how to do that. Either way, this ends up being x squared plus 8x plus 16. That's what this is, minus 9. Let's see, 6 minus 9. Oh, 16, sorry. 16 minus 9. What's that, 7? X squared plus 8x plus 7. So now I've got it in this form. So notice what I did was I took this, manipulated it, got it into that form. That's this type of problem. I've got to factor it, find my x-intercepts, and be on my way. So again, you could factor it using a square. My answer is, this is going to be x plus 7 times x plus 1. So my x-intercepts are the points -7, 0, -1, 0. My y-intercept, I could let x be 0, plug it back into here, and I get 7. Notice if I look at this form, it's 7. My vertex is halfway between -7 and -1, the x value. So I'm just going to average those. -7 plus -1 over 2. -8 over 2 is -4. So my x value is -4. And I could plug it back in. I'll plug it back in and say here, -4 plus 7, -4 plus 1. So I've got -3 times 3 is -9. Got all my pieces. And then I can sketch my graph for it. Here's what I want you to notice. This form, notice it says x plus 4 squared minus 9. Notice what my vertex was. See where the -4 comes from and where the -9 comes from. So this is in vertex form. If it's in this form, I can read the vertex right off of it. Oh, this vertex is at -4, -9, and I'm on my way. And again, in class, we've done a lot of experience with that.